good personal friend, Alex Trujillo of FlightScope. Alex and I go back quite a ways. Interject where you want, but I want to tell the story of my relationship with not only you, but with FlightScope. And it was basically FlightScope coming to my aid when I started my business 6.5, 7 years ago. And Henry Johnson, the owner, creator of FlightScope, saying, you know what, I've got faith in you. You've been good for us. And I want you part of the team. And because of that, Alex, you put me on as an ambassador. How does that work? How does ambassador work? And what can I do more to help you guys out that way?
Yeah, so I mean, our ambassadors are very important for us. I mean, it helps us. They help us promote the brand, and they help us, grow the business. But more importantly, you're the face out there every day that's using the product, and you're giving us feedback. And honestly, we just we love the relationships that we have, and you guys. We feel like you guys are a very big integral part of what we do and how we can make our product better, and how at the end of the day how we can make you have a more successful business by providing you the tools that you need to give your students the best experience that they can have.
So a real quick story, I'm going to call you Bryson's right-hand man. So, one of them. In all transparency, Alex and I share a lot of personal time together when you're not on the road for FlightScope, but a lot of the time you're on the road with Bryson.
Yeah.
What do you do with him? What does he do? Why does he use FlightScope?
So
how does it affect the consumer? What is it that's coming back to him?
So the story with Bryson is Bryson's coach Mike Shy has used our product for a very long time. And I think when Bryson was maybe 15 or 16, he obviously started using FlightScope at that age. And he's just a very big believer in the technology and how we do things and how we measure certain things. He knows that it's accurate. He knows it's providing him good data. And so our relationship goes, I met him when he was an amateur at Bay Hill 4 or 5 years ago. And I basically just started helping him with not understanding the numbers, because he had a pretty good understanding of it, but what can we do differently to achieve his goals of producing a certain shot or producing a certain trajectory, even to times where I actually I help with, together with Cobra, we help identify, okay, what would be the best fit for him, what's the correct shaft,
right.
Things of that nature. So. And through him, we've been able to develop new updates into our products to help you, the instructor, and you, the teacher, provide a better product to your students and a better understanding of how certain things in the environment or certain things in the golf swing affect your trajectories.
So one of the things I use is the Skills app, and I want to talk about that just a little bit so you have a more up-to-date understanding of how I use it. I use it a lot with initial evaluations. I've got specially designed challenges, for lack of a better way of saying it, to apply to various different skill sets. And it's all about hitting targets. It's all about being accurate. It's all about how good do you perform under pressure, because the Skills app, I can actually change the timing too, or change a lot of other variables too. How else can the Skill app be used with a client of mine that's effective to get them to that next level?
Yeah, I think one of the great ways to use the Skills app is to put your customer in the situations where they're most uncomfortable. So if you can identify...
It does it every time.
Yeah, it does it every time.
Does.
If you can identify the weakest area of the game and then put them in that environment, for example, if they struggle with the long irons or they struggle with the short wedge shots, put them in that environment so that the repetition is going to basically, once they have to hit 100 shots to the same yardage or the same target, it's going to help them. First of all, it's going to help you understand what
Absolutely.
do I need to do to fix it.
It creates a more fulfilled plan.
Right. And then it helps you communicate better within
Right.
each other. So I think, just put them in an uncomfortable situation.
So one of the common questions I get when the bar graph comes up at the end of the challenge is, okay, there's yellow, there's green, there's red. What is that? I tell them, hey, that's what tour averages are.
Yes.
And that's how you compare against it. How are those tour averages put into the
So
system?
it's something that we do in the back end, and we collect some of that data from the yearly PGA Tour stats, and then we take those stats and put them into the software so that you can compare based on yardage. How do you compare to the average PGA Tour player, basically? So some areas might be green, some areas might be yellow, and some areas might be red. So doing the initial assessment, I think, is actually a great thing, is to do it through skills, because for you, it helps you identify, this is probably where I need to work.
Great. So this is news to you, literally news. I just got word I may be getting an X3.
All right.
It's about, I'm looking forward to it. So with that being said, one of the things I've got to gear up to is the fusion tracking to that X3, as well as the other things it offers from a putting, the wedge game, everything else. Give us an idea of what that's going to provide my clientele.
Well, before we even get into that, I'll talk to you what it's going to do for you as far as data goes. So now we have this tool called the Environmental Optimizer.
Right.
So let's say that your student comes down for a lesson, and maybe they are going to play in Scottsdale or in Colorado. So you can hit shots here in Orlando, and you can open up your Environmental Optimizer, and now you can actually input weather conditions for that location, and show them what that shot would look like in those conditions. So for example,
that's huge.
You can change the altitude, you can change the air temperature, you can change the relative landing height. Is the green elevated or is the green below? You can change the humidity, and you can change the wind speed and the wind direction. And so the software will show you what the shot looks like. The yellow is measured here in Orlando. The blue is what it would be where you were going. So this shot, for example, would have carried 175 yards wherever this location would be, which is about 6,000 feet above sea level.
So Denver or
right,
better.
Denver or better. So now not only the coach, but the player also has a good understanding of how the shots are going to be affected in those conditions. Or maybe you're outside here in Orlando and it's very windy, and you want to negate those wind conditions. You can do that through the environment.
And that happens a lot at Falcons Fire. I have a constant wind out there, so having this to make the adjustment is going to be fantastic.
Yep. Oh, yeah. And then we have in the new video app, I'll show you here what we have is we now give you, through the use of the X3, we give you the capability of having multiple video sources. So now you can have, for example, you have imagery from the X3 down the line. You can use your iPhone as a secondary device that you can put face on, and then you also have the camera from the iPad. So you can have 3 video feeds that are all time synced together. Wow. And you can use that for your instruction. So I'll show you what it looks like. Just find a session here. So as you can see here, I can now actually drag and drop different video feeds, and then I can play them all simultaneously. Now the X3 video will show you club and ball trace, and then let's say, okay, maybe you only want to look at 2 video feeds, but you want to look at data as well, then you can come in here and you can show them all their data with their video.
That's huge.
So for instructional purposes, it's great, and it's all wireless, so you don't have to worry about dragging a bunch of wires.
And then what my clients, I've always told them, log in myflightscope.com. I always set up the most difficult password unique to me, and that's password, to get in there. Show them, I really want them to understand what they're going to see within that platform. Because I think that's the vital link between me and them, especially when they're away, right, or they can't call me readily, that right, they can literally communicate to me through that. Yeah,
so on myflightscope.com, they're going to get all their analytics. So, you know, every session that they've done that's been uploaded to the web, what the yardages were, what the averages were, so they can start understanding what's actually happening with their golf swing, and then they can communicate with you and say, hey, what do you think I need to do? This is what's been happening. So it's just going to be a good portal for communication and helping you, get to your student.
Fantastic. The other thing I get a lot of excitement out of is this little thing. This has been, I'm going to say industry-wise, earth-shattering. It's literally making the entire environment of radar technology different. FlightScope Mevo. I sell this on my website, and I've sold quite a few. It's 7 parameters, correct? Ball speed, 8. Okay, so it's ball speed, it's club speed, smash factor, total carry, total distance, vertical launch, angle of attack. What am I missing?
It's actually I'm just going to go through them because I have the order in my head.
I don't do that daily.
It's club speed, ball speed, carry distance, smash factor, launch angle, spin rate, height, and time. So those 8 parameters, and then video. So you can take a video from your phone, automatically clips it for you, and then that data gets overlaid right onto the video. So, and you can do video or data, or just them individually as well.
Okay, so the other thing people don't know, FlightScope's history. I think that's important for people to know, not only within the sports industry, but where all this came from.
Yeah.
And if you can just sort of brief us that way.
Yeah, so in 1989, our inventor Henry Johnson, he started up a defense company where he would take radar and track projectiles, missiles, rockets, whatever the case may be. So that's how we started, and then he quickly transitioned into sports. So he went into cricket, he went into tennis, golf, baseball, where we are today. To this day, we still provide about 30 countries in the world with defense tracking radar. As a matter of fact, in a couple weeks, I'll be going to Cape Canaveral with some of our engineers, where we will be tracking some rockets that will be going up in the air.
Wow.
For a special project that we're doing for the Air Force. So we're still very actively involved in the defense side, and the techniques that we use in defense actually help us. We can bring those techniques into the sporting side to help us be that much more accurate.
What's an example of that?
So fusion tracking is actually an example. The techniques that we use in this X3, we use Doppler or we use full tracking radar with image processing to help us very easily identify the club and the ball, especially in conditions like hitting a wedge in the turf. There's other products out in the market that can struggle with that, and we feel like we have a really good grasp over that, and we feel like our capture rate is second to none.
Again, that's why I'm with FlightScope, but more importantly, the way you guys treated me as family, I can't thank you enough for it. Both professionally and then our relationship outside the realm of FlightScope. I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough for your service to our country as well.
Thank you, sir.
What is it at the end of the day that not only my clients but other clients should know about FlightScope? Why am I and all the other people in the world gravitating towards this?
Well, you know, we believe that we're going to do what's fair, just, and right, and we believe in building a relationship with our customers, not for today, but for the long haul.
And that includes consumers, especially at MEVA.
Absolutely, and you know, we have a lot of customers that have been with us for a very long time, and you know, we always get feedback that people say that we have the best customer service in the industry. But you know, honestly, it's because we build relationships, like true, genuine relationships, where we truly care about you and your business, but we also care about you as a person. You know, we're not just here to make the sale, a one-time sale. We want to be friends basically for life. So that's what you get when you come to FlightScope.
And I am wholeheartedly here to say that's 100% genuine and correct. And again, I can't thank you enough. I'm looking forward to doing more of this with you and the other staff members.
Absolutely.
Through 19. Try to feature more things, try to get really down to the consumer end as to what these numbers are and why they're so important, and it helps them with their improvement. And I'm looking forward to doing more of that with you.
Well, thank you. I look forward to it as well.
Thanks.
Thanks, John.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.